The time is just gone 19 minutes past 8 a.m. on this day of Jummah. And we are now going across to be joined by Abie Dawjee. And Abie is the Director at Research and Information Network at RAIN, host of the Big Picture on Radio Islam International. Now, there was a piece that Abie had written, and he actually upfront talks about being excused for being cynical, but he says for long we have been passionate in our WhatsApp group in proposing solutions about serious issues, and it's been talk, and then nothing happens. But it's quite funny, it wasn't so tragic, because yesterday from 9 to 10:15 this morning, what Abim said, the topic was Phoenix and how bad Indians are. Radio talk shows and social media have been on fire over the past 2 weeks with hate speech. Abie, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think we are having a slight problem. We will obviously get in touch with Abie in a minute or two. My engineer is working, but essentially what Abie Dawjee has been saying is there is just so much talk, but there is a lot of chilling stuff on certain radio stations, and he's saying it's actually getting worse, it's raging, and also asking the question, where is the voices, or where are the Indian voices condemning the murder of innocent blacks, and also at the same time expressing concern that with regard to all this tension and anti-Indian sentiments, how do we actually deal with the problem? And that is absolutely critical. And what we will do is we're going to try and see, I think Abie is back with us. Abie, assalamu alaikum. No, not with us. So what we'll do is we're going to go for a quick break. We're going to try and link up with Abie once again.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media. Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Is it our range of exclusive, high-end, luxurious jewelry? Or is it our master craftsmanship of all your bespoke jewelry needs? We believe it's because at Randry Jewelers, we know just how to make your special moments last forever. Whether it's for a wedding, anniversary, or just a simple gift to show your love, trust Randry Jewelers to make it special. www.randaryjewelers.com. Make your moments last forever with Randry.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
The time is just gone 8:22 a.m. and we're going across now to be joined by Abie Dawjee, Director at Research and Information Network, RAIN, and also the host of the Big Picture on Radio Islam International. Abie, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jummah Mubarak to you.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh Dr. Inayet Habibi, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, very well. It's actually wonderful talking to you. It's been such a long time, but Alhamdulillah, we have this opportunity once again to connect with you. Now, Abie, obviously, you've raised a number of issues, and I've seen your post on one of the WhatsApp groups yesterday in terms of, where we are, the lack of urgency, the cohesion within the Indian community in response to what has taken place in Phoenix. Now, there is, right now, as we speak, a great deal of tension and anti-Indian sentiment being expressed. What is your take, Abie?
My brother, the deep racial tensions that you mentioned, obviously we all know that they resulted from the killings in Phoenix. And now they're not confined to Phoenix only. In fact, they have impacted very heavily on black people I don't really like to use that term, black people in the whole country. If you see what's going on social media, I'm sure you have, and if you had your ear onto what's been going on talk shows, and talk shows, in fact, and I'm talking about national radio stations, they are regarded as the nation in conversation. So there are lots of different voices on the platform that is provided by these talk shows. And people are calling in from all over the country about what happened in Phoenix. And so the social media and talk shows are on fire. The anti-Indian hate speech and talks of revenge and so on. And in fact, if you go to the Zulu radio stations, you will be chilled to the bone at what's happening there. Raging fires, as I said, and they are getting worse. This has been a festering sore, meaning that we, the so-called Indians, did nothing, virtually nothing, I would say, to turn back this tide of hate on these platforms, the social media and so on. Of course, I must say also that there are some outreach initiatives in Phoenix by church people and so on. And inshallah, I hope that something positive can come out of that. But then it will only be limited to that area, to the Phoenix area, to calm things down. But I'm talking about what's happening countrywide, the hate speech that is incredible.
Well, certainly it sounds very ominous, and it is of major concern from what you have just described, Abie. And I think the point that you also talk about is, you know, when you speak about half-baked token efforts to turn back the tide, and you say this will obviously prove to be useless. Now, this is a danger, and it's a great danger that is lurking at this point in time if we are not effective or organize ourselves effective in dealing with the problem. And just in your analysis, Abie, how should we actually have dealt with this problem?
Well, we should have sprung into action immediately. We should have acted immediately. Community leaders in the Indian community should have come together and gone to Phoenix just after things were calmed down with the security forces coming in and so on. And that's, of course, a matter of safety. So they should have gone there, our Indian leaders, and convened a major press conference with the mainstream media being there, and then speak very, very loudly for, firstly, to condemn strongly and distance the Indian community from the killings of innocent people. Now, again, I don't want to be misunderstood. I'm not saying that there shouldn't have been roadblocks and so on. People need to protect their communities in the absence of the security forces. But when people kill innocent black people, then that should be condemned strongly, unreservedly. So that's the first thing that should have been done, addressing the media and condemning this. And secondly, there should be a context set about what actually happened. For example, we would say that perhaps 50 or even 100 people manned the roadblocks. And let's say that 20 or 30 were racist thugs and murdered innocent blacks. So we cannot say that the entire Indian community of Phoenix, is I think about 500,000, we cannot say that they're all responsible for this and you know, just paint the whole Indian community with one big brush. So we should be saying that clearly that in all likelihood, a tiny group of people, gung-ho, trigger-happy, carried out these murders, which is exactly what it is, the killing of innocent people. That's murder. Now, the other thing is that, you know, we should challenge the vitriol, the hate speech on radio talk shows. And the Indian voice is unfortunately absent from these talk shows. I'm listening to them all the time, all different talk shows. And I find that the Indian voice is not there, almost completely absent. And the situation then is that, unfortunately, the horse has bolted, because I said it's a festering sore, and nobody addressed the Indian perspective. So the anti-Indian feelings have taken deep root now. If you listen to the radio station, as I said at the beginning, you will find that the hatred is very, very deep indeed, unfortunately.
Well, Abie, I think this is another concern that we have is our lack of presence, particularly on mainstream media. And as you mentioned, these talk shows. And again, we sometimes, there's apathy on our part where we leave this type of presence in mainstream media to a handful of individuals. We don't even have a strong lobby group. And one of the points that I had actually made yesterday is in the past, in the Mandela era, we had presence even at the highest level of government. We had the likes of people like Dullah Umar, we had Ahmed Katrada, and there were so many other people who could even raise these issues at the highest level of government. We don't have that anymore. We are seeing a different government. We are seeing a different breed of politicians. Now, all of this tells me that there's danger that is lurking in the background as well. And if we don't respond adequately, we are obviously putting ourselves at risk.
Yeah, absolutely. The word you use is apathy. I mean, people were just thinking that this whole thing will blow over and just go away. And what you say is very important, that we are not proactive, we are reactive. Reactive meaning that we respond after the fact. When there's a crisis, then sometimes some organizations will issue a statement, and that gets lost. That statement gets lost in the media somewhere, may appear on some page in the newspaper. It has little or no impact because everybody don't go out and buy that newspaper and say, look, maybe there's an alternative view here. So proactive means, as you raised the point about the lobby, where is our think tank? Where is our command center? Our lobby group, even amongst the Muslims, where we promote the positive image of Islam and challenge the negative portrayals that we come across, Islamophobia and all of that. Where do we host politicians and media people? You have to create the context in order for them to know what's our viewpoint. We don't even do that. And we don't anticipate and prepare well in advance for potential crises. So it's just a reflexive action occasionally by a few people to try to put out the fires, my brother.
Yes, and also, Abie, just in overcoming this apathy, the key question here is we need to do introspection, and we need to understand why have we not responded adequately? Where are the problem areas, Abie?
My dear brother, I hate to be a cynic, but we've been singing this song for the last 20, 25 years, that we need to form some lobby group to meet all of the challenges. And the challenges are getting greater and greater by the day. So usually there is talk about this subject, this issue of the lobby group, and invariably it dies at birth.
And I'm sure that, within our communities, there is no, lack of people with the expertise and the skills, to be at the forefront of these lobby groups to be able to tackle these challenges.
We have got great talent in our community. We have people who are of great intellect, of great knowledge, and so on. But they don't come to the fore and say, look, we are concerned and we need to do something about it. There are a few people who would do that. But generally, and the word again is apathy. Somebody else will do it.
Well, Abie, Jazakallah so much for that. And I think there is a comment that obviously has come through. I just want to get this comment quickly before we actually talk about it. It says, obviously, I think one of the key issues here is to be able to respond effectively. And do you think all is lost, Abie?
Again, I want to underline the fact that I'm very cynical because, the word I used was festering. The sore has been, this open wound has been left with no intervention on our side. and now we are trying to do something after the horse has bolted. So if you listen to the talk shows, you will be shocked. Hate speech, that's what it is. Hate speech, where people are saying, pointing to Uganda, what happened to the Indians there. And, you know, one of the comments I heard yesterday was, you aliens are our guests here. And so if you don't behave, you better go back to India. Strong words like that. And unfortunately, even the hosts of these programs, you know, the presenters of programs in our national radio stations, they just let people get away without challenging it, you know, and that for me is very shocking also. But that's a subject for another day, my brother.
Well, Abie, Jazakallah khairan so much for that and for your time with us this morning here on News and Views on Salam Media. We wish you all the best. We wish you safety. We wish you good health. And have yourself a wonderful Jummah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.